Alright guys, I'm not going to hold anything back on this video. And I don't know if you are new to the channel, if you maybe got this from one of our follow-up emails, if you came across on YouTube or you saw something on Twitter, but the fact is that you're here right now. What you're about to learn on this video has the potential to completely change your entire lead generation and client acquisition system. This is going to be the most helpful if you are running any sort of cold outbound campaign, maybe on cold email, cold calling, if you're doing outbound DMs on Twitter or LinkedIn or something like Facebook, for example. And the reason why is because we're going to literally explain our 4-step process that we use not only for ourselves, but also for our clients in order to predictably book and close high quality meetings with potential customers. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Enrique and I run a lead generation and sales agency for tech companies. And the reason why I want to explain this is first of all, that you guys know in the context in which I'm going to explain the different processes in here, but this is something that you can apply either by yourself if you run a marketing agency or you run any sort of B2B company, or if for whatever reason you just want to learn about how to get more ROI from your outbound prospecting efforts, okay? Now, I don't want to be pausing the video and I don't want to be promoting anything. I just want to go straight into the meat and potatoes of the training. So the only call to action that you're probably going to have is the one that I'm about to do now. If you want to get the document that you will be watching in this video and join our private community, we are currently more than 1,300 people inside. You can join using the link that I will leave in the description or maybe in the comment section. Regardless of that, guys, you're in for a really good fit with today's video. So without further ado, guys, let's get started with the training and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Speak soon. Bye-bye.
Alright guys, we're going to start diving super deep into the topic of predictable client acquisition with cold outreach, guys. Of course, this is going to be a super high level strategy based approach to how we like to do cold outbound DMs, emails, calls, etc. But more than actually going into the how to do the things and everything that of course we're going to dive deep, I want you guys to take a notice into the 4 elements that we'll discuss, because the 4 stages or the 4 steps or the 4 pillars of the strategy that we're going to start discussing in here is what either makes or breaks the success of your cold outbound campaigns, okay guys? And of course we want to start with the end in mind, right? And what that means is the ultimate goal that we have with cold outbound is getting meetings. And the only goal that we have with meetings is to get clients, right? So that's why I want to focus the entirety of this presentation to predictable client acquisition. Like, you could be using cold outreach for a whole bunch of different topics, but we're going to specifically discuss the topic of predictable client acquisition. And this might be honestly my longest video ever in terms of free material that I put out. So yeah, this is the type of video that you're not going to want to watch if you are basically on your iPhone, maybe on the bathroom or wherever you might be, and you're just trying to get entertainment. This is going to be more actionable stuff that you're going to take action on, that is going to make you have loads of money, and of course that you want to take notes on. That's the most important thing, okay? Now, on this presentation, we're going to cover targeting, aka who are you sending your outbound campaigns to or who are you talking with, your offer and copywriting. What this means is what is it that you do in exchange for money and how you actually package the messaging of your offer so that people end up giving you money. The third part that we're going to discuss is the actual outbound strategy, aka what channels you decide to use in order to get clients, how you combine these channels between them, how to follow up, how to create a winning campaign that is going to be predictable in the long run. And last but not least, mindset and metrics. I think that if you have these 4 components in any of your outbound campaigns that you are trying and you predictably try to optimize and stabilize the actual outcomes from your campaigns, you are going to be set up for a good start with your outreach process, okay guys? Now, what we'll not cover in this presentation is a specific business opportunity. Like, I'm not going to sell you, hey man, you need to become an SDR. I am not going to sell you, hey man, you need to start a marketing agency or a sales agency. I don't want to sell you, hey man, you need to be having a coaching program. I mean, the whole topic of what we're going to discuss in this video is predictable client acquisition with cold outbound campaigns. And this is something that is going to work for you if you are a coach, a consultant, an agency, whether that's marketing, lead generation, sales, whatever type of agency, and pretty much any sort of B2B company, okay? Again, my audience is primarily marketing agencies, but that being said, of course, this is going to be a video that is going to help you regardless of your niche, right? Or regardless of your type of business, sorry. The second thing that I don't want to, that we'll not be discussing is B2C outbound campaigns, and we will make a separate video on this in the future. And just so you guys know, B2C is business to consumer, and pretty much is if you are selling something to somebody that is not a business, this is not going to be super specific to you, but this is going to still be super helpful in terms of high level strategy and deciding how to structure your outbound campaigns. Now, with B2C, of course, we're going to, you would be better off by using different channels like maybe Facebook DMs, Instagram DMs, Twitter DMs, instead of, for example, LinkedIn or cold email. Or the third thing that we're not going to discuss is a unique end-to-end solution for everyone. And of course, I want to cover more on this later because, yeah, this is going to be super helpful. If you are having, like I was saying, an agency, a tech company, a coaching or info business, and you're trying to get meetings booked so that you can close deals. Of course, I will share with you at the strategies that we've tried. I will give some examples. I will also be giving you what we do for clients. But honestly, guys, this is super important. I am not going to guarantee that this is going to work the same way it does for us, for you, because it's going to depend on how good you are at what you do, how much you know about your audience. The other thing is that we are not going to discuss niche selection and services to offer. Like, this is just a given. Like, if you're watching this video and you don't have a niche, there is no point in doing outreach. And of course, I'm not going to be starting to discuss like services to offer. Like, I'm assuming that you are selling something that somebody wants to buy and that has an outcome-based approach, that there is an exact ROI that you can portray to your clients, because if you don't have that, you're pretty much screwed, okay? So before we begin, I want to show you guys some examples. So at the time of this recording, I don't know if you can see here, but it's Friday 23 right now. And what that means, guys, is that I want you guys to actually look at our calendar in the last couple of days. So on average, we might be having anywhere from 3 to, I mean, of course, sometimes we might have 2 calls booked on a given day, but typically we can have anywhere from 3 or 4 calls, and we might have some days where we book 8, 9, or even 10 calls, right? So you can see here Wednesday, December 14th, December 7th, December 8th, 9, December 12th, 13th. This is not in order, but as you can see, guys, I mean, we book a whole bunch of calls with super qualified leads for us and also for clients. And you can see here that, I mean, we walk the talk, meaning that this is how your calendar can look like by literally following these strategies that I'm going to share with you in today's video. And not only for us, also for our clients. Like, if you guys went to our website, you can see here dozens and dozens and dozens of case studies in our podcast, interviews, etc. And I wanted you guys to see this just so you guys know that this works not only for us, but also for other people, okay? I wanted to show you guys also, super quick, the total average plus client campaigns that we have going on at the moment. You can see that out of a total amount of 4,000 emails that have been sent, we on average get a 22.4 reply rate. This is literally unheard of, right? Because this means that, let's just round it up to 4,000 emails sent. If it was a 10% reply rate, that means that 400 people replied. Now, 20% reply rate means that 800 people replied. And if 800 people replied with 20%, 22.4% might be something like 840 or something, okay? And this is, listen guys, this 4,000 emails is not like first touch points with one lead. It's actually counting the follow-up. So this means that the amount of leads that we need is honestly really low because how effective the campaigns that we run are, okay guys? So I also wanted you guys to see here, on average on different campaigns, the amount of replies. You can see here, out of 97 leads, 22.7 replied. Out of 102 leads, 17.6 replied. Out of 84, 40% replied. This is our best campaign so far, by far, honestly. Pretty much half of the people that we actually touch on called outbound replying to us, but you get the point. This just wanted to show that there's proof into what we are going to show you. And I wanted to show you something that I believe nobody else has done ever, and is actually showing our own campaigns in the last 4 weeks. If you guys take a look at this screenshot, you can, well, again, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but today that I'm recording is Friday, December 23. And this is because I want to give you guys this as a Christmas gift pretty much, but you can see here that I made a screenshot of the last 4 weeks and the 2 campaigns that we have running, okay? One, and you can see here that it literally ends in December 21. And well, this one was cut, but you can see that it says from November 23rd to December. In the actual screenshot might have been from 23 or 21, just the same as this one, but again, just wanted you to see. For our own campaigns, we have 254 leads in here, 284 leads in here. This means that there are literally 730 approximately, right? 730 leads that we were talking with, or that we reached out to, and we had on average 18.4% reply rates on this one and 15.9% reply rates on this one. And again, that's just I mean, in simple numbers, and for you guys to understand, what this means is a lot of money, okay? A lot of money, a lot of meetings, and a lot of potential customers that we can now work with, okay? And yeah, you're going to learn exactly step by step what we do and how to think when it comes to your cold outbound campaigns in order to secure success. Okay, guys? Cool? So before we get started, again, you can get this presentation with the link in the description or in our pinned comment. Okay, guys? I think that this will be just a disservice not to give this for you guys. So you can get this presentation. All you gotta do is pretty much give us your email. We'll have you on our email marketing software, and pretty much you're going to have this plus all of the other YouTube documents that we've been using so far. Okay, guys? Now let's get started. Now, guys, the first thing that I want to discuss is that successful outbound campaigns come from understanding the system behind it. And by definition, a system is not singular, aka there are components that make the system. And the biggest problem that exists is that when people start to talk about outreach and getting calls and sending DMs or sending cold emails or sending looms or sending or doing cold calls, whatever it might be, people just see two sides of the spectrum. They see doing outreach on the one side and booking calls on the other side. And it's pretty much straightforward, and they see it in this black and white fashion of, hey man, I'm doing outreach. And what they do is pretty much just stay on the DMs, maybe on Twitter, maybe on whatever, or maybe do the dials for the calls. But in reality, guys, these are two separate systems. Like, it's not really doing outreach what is going to help you. It's understanding what's behind doing outreach. And what is doing outreach is literally what's the offer and packaging that you are doing for your outreach, what's the number and number tracking and volume that you're doing, is the CRM and lead tracking that you're doing while you do outreach, and it's also the mindset and numbers-based thinking that you have when you are doing outreach. You see? Do you start to see the difference, guys? Like, people just start to see one part of the spectrum, like, hey, doing outreach, when in reality, there are a whole bunch of components and elements and different pillars that actually make up the whole of what doing outreach actually is. And now the beauty of these, guys, is that you need all components to work if you want a working system. Like, a working system is no more than a working set of components that make the system, okay? And at any given time, improving one component improves the system as a whole. And what that means, guys, is that, for example, if you have a great offer and you're tracking your numbers and you're doing an adequate amount of volume, but you're not keeping track of your leads on a CRM, and you don't have a mindset and you don't have a numbers-based thinking, you're not going to get the best results possible. But why? Not because you don't have to fix your offer, not because you have to fix your numbers tracking, but it's because you are not making sure that all of the elements are in here. And by the way, I'm not saying that these are all the 4 elements that need to be on point if you want to have success with your cold email campaigns or cold outbound campaigns. What I'm saying is any improvement over any of the different components is going to improve your actual results by a huge margin. Okay, guys? So again, improving the components improves the system. Let's start first of all with the targeting, because this is the biggest and most important thing that I see people messing up with. So I want to help you out with that. And guys, listen, the secret to targeting is a hot dog. No, I'm kidding. Like, the secret to targeting, and I know that this is something that you probably have heard sometime in the past, but I still want to go over it. There was this famous example by a marketing professor back in the 90s, if I'm not mistaken, where he asked his class, like, okay, guys, so we all have to start a business, and you can have any competitive advantage that you wish for. What would you like to have over me in order to get better results from your business? And everybody starts talking about, hey, I would love to have more case studies, a better product, ad budget, be a sales guy that closes all of the deals, whatever it might be. And he literally just went back and said, like, hey, you know what? Like, you're all wrong. The secret to actually having a successful business is having a hungry crowd. What that means, guys, is that, and of course, like, I actually told the story incorrectly because everybody was going to start a hot dog business, right? Like selling hot dogs. But ultimately, guys, what I want you guys to keep in mind is that if you want to launch a successful cold outbound campaign, you need to ideally find the best suited people that are looking for what you have to sell. If you don't have this on point and you don't master this part of the equation, things are just going to be way easier, way harder, because you're going to be arm wrestling every single person that you come across with. And maybe some people will hop on calls with you, but they might be like, yeah, man, but I'm looking for this, or this is not interesting, or whatever it might be, right? Now, I want to go over some of the best practices when it comes to targeting. And this is also why it's important that you already have a niche and a service, because of course, if you don't have a niche and don't have a service, you cannot target anything. Like there will be no filters or no criteria to actually target your leads, right? But because of this reason, guys, I want to just go over the best practices when targeting, okay? I'm assuming again that you have your niche and your service on point, because otherwise you wouldn't get the same results as if you actually had a niche and a service, okay? Now, here's the thing, guys. The targeting is more important than the copy. And most people, whenever I hop on a call with somebody, or whenever one of our YouTube subscribers or a member of our Facebook group comes and starts asking, hey man, I don't know why I'm not getting meetings booked, like, can you check my email angle or my copy? And this is the problem. You're starting to think about the wrong stuff, because most people blame their copy for not seeing results. And again, what they might say or what they might think is, not sure why I'm not getting replies, like what's wrong with my copy, when in reality, the whole problem that you're having right now is in your targeting and probably maybe on your offer, but we'll see more about that in a bit. But again, your targeting is more important than the copy. And here's why. Most people just go to Apollo or to Zoom Info or to one of these search databases, and they start to filter their searches by, for example, SaaS founders and or e-commerce brands or e-commerce, or you see like super wide and broad people that are going to pretty much end up being spammed by your messages, because you're literally not targeting, you're not segmenting your audience or the people that is going to receive your outbound campaign. So what I decided to do is actually show you what you need to be doing from best to worst in order to make sure that the targeting is on point. The first thing that you want is to leverage intent. And what this means is that you might want to do something like the following, like offering Facebook ads to people who are already running ads on Facebook, right? Of course, assuming that you are selling Facebook ads. Let's say that you have a done-for-you content repurposing agency, for example. You might be offer content repurposing to podcasters and YouTubers that you see that are already doing shorts, for example. You might offer PPC services for companies hiring marketing teams, same for SDRs, etc. Right? Like what you want to do is you just want to have an easier sale, and the way in which you can do this is by literally finding the people that are actively looking for what you are literally selling. Right? There's no better option than this one. The second thing would be to literally just search for lead databases and gathering places, and then scrape with Instant Data Scraper. This is a free Google Chrome extension that you can use in order to scrape leads. But what you would do is pretty much start going really niche down when it comes to your search. So you can, for example, go to Google and start searching. If you do what everyone's doing, you'll get the same result everyone's getting, aka none. Because this is the thing, guys. If you're targeting e-commerce and you're going to store leads, you're pretty much screwed. If you're targeting agencies, for example, yeah, and you go to Clutch, you're going pretty much screwed. If you are targeting, you see, like if you go to the same databases that everybody's going to, you're pretty much you're pretty much reaching out to people that are immune to the cold outbounds. Why? Because everybody's doing the same. So unless you have a really hard hitting and slapping type of angle, things are going to get real hard for you. Okay, guys. So again, you just want to do something different if you want to get different results. And the more effort you put into this, the better the results will be. So you gotta embrace the pain, if that makes sense. Okay. Now, this is what I was saying before. Take the time to search for databases. This is huge. And you want to narrow your search. Let's say that you're targeting SaaS companies, right? Instead of searching for best SaaS, you might start searching for best B2B SaaS, or best B2B SaaS startups, or best CRM SaaS. This is good, but not the best as it could. Or you could search for something like best CRM SaaS for marketing agencies. You see? Like these type of searches where you start going super narrow, super specific, super niche down. This is when you're going to start getting way better databases that nobody's targeting, nobody's using, and that is going to probably make you have better results than if you were doing something different. Okay. Now, That's all I wanted to say about targeting, because of course this is going to really highly depend on your niche and everything, but I just wanted you guys to understand these basic principles. The second thing I want you guys to understand is offer and copywriting, okay? And again, like we were saying before, your offer is, now that you have a set of people that you're going to send a message to, now you want to have an offer and package it in a way that sounds compelling and people might want to take action on based on this offer, okay? That's the whole goal of this second stage. Now, note, a good offer is the best copy that you can use. Like, even if you suck at copywriting, like you don't know how to make somebody see the value of what you're doing or whatever it might be, you're always going to crush it if you have an amazing offer. Like, imagine that you said to somebody, hi, let's say that you don't even say hi and you don't even say their name. You could just go and be like, hey man, I'm with the president of the World's Bank. I'm going to give you $10,000 if you give me $5,000. I actually have this picture with the president of the World Bank where he's saying that he's actually going to do this as soon as that we're going to print $10,000 for you as soon as you give me those $1,000 that I just mentioned. You have all the proof in here. We can even sign an NDA if you want to or something like that. And everybody, I mean, even if you suck at copywriting, that's what I'm trying to say. If you have a good offer, you're going to crush it, okay? Of course, you want to have a good copy because that's how you are going to get people to actually see the message, all of that, but you get the point. Now, you want to have a good offer, but you also want to pass the smartphone test, because that's the problem. Like, a lot of people might be like, okay, man, so I want to have the best offer. So let me just write a 5 or 10 paragraph email or 10 paragraph DM explaining everything that I do so that they have 0 questions and they just give me their money. But guys, like, most people don't really care about you. And what you gotta do is honestly make sure that people on their iPhone can read what you have to say and what you do, and be just one click, one word reply from actually saying yes or no to your message. Maybe they just say yes or no and that's it. Now, again, guys, the goal with cold outbound copywriting is getting a reply or show interest, and this is a huge one. The big problem that everybody's having is they're expecting to send emails to people and automatically book meetings, like without even replying or without first of all having a conversation. And that's a problem, because what the goal should be with the initial touch point that you have, whether that is on DMs or on cold email or with calls, is pretty much seeing who is willing to have a conversation with you. Because now that you have a conversation, it's easier to simply to take off the friction and be like, hey, how about if we hop on a 10-15 minute chat just to maybe talk a little bit more in depth without having to have the sales pressure, and then you hop on that call and you don't pitch anything, you're supposed to get to know each other, and then you pitch on the second call. Like, of course, that's a whole process that you want to apply. And I have this video called Why Your Cold Email and Cold Calls Don't Work, Prospecting Mastery, that really explains this way better in my opinion, so you might want to go and see it. But it's pretty much that with cold outbounds, you want to first of all get a reply, and once you get a reply, you can do everything else. But the whole goal of the first angle is to get a reply, okay? And again, there was some best practice when structuring outbound campaigns. What I would say first of all is I want to highly suggest building something up front that, regardless of your channel, gives value to your leads, okay? And there are different ways on how to do this. I want to just mention a few. The first one might be something like a sales cast. I want to give a huge shout out to Lucas James. I actually learned this from him. And what he does is pretty much reach out to people that he would like to do business with and interview them on a podcast. Of course, you would need to have a podcast in order for this to work, but you reach out to somebody and you tell them, hey, I've been running this podcast that has at the moment X amount of active listeners per day, plus we upload the videos to YouTube. I think that you will be a great fit to come here with us. Would you be interested? Most people are going to say yes. And once people say yes, all you have to do is agree to having a call that you're going to record and actually make a podcast. And at the end of the podcast, you can reach out to the person and be like, hey, by the way, do you have 5 to 10 minutes where we can talk about how we do certain things? Like, for example, if you do SEO, you can tell them, hey, here's how we do SEO. Do you have time for that? People are going to most likely be yes, because they're going to feel that urge to actually reply to you and be complacent. And then you can pitch it. Like, that's a way to do it. But again, I don't really like doing it. You can do free trials. This works especially well for SaaS. You can use lead magnets like Looms, free audits, lead lists, ad creatives, etc. And this has to be relevant to your offer. And something that I always like to say to my clients and also people that ask me questions is, Your offer is an upsell to your lead magnet. And the biggest problem out there is that people have a fundamental misunderstanding of on the value ladder. Like, again, this is what I'm explaining here, but most people literally just go and be like, hey guys, again, most people just try to pitch the call and go from the call to the sell. But in reality, what you gotta do with your email is, first of all, give them something that warms them up. Now that they show interest, you can give them something. You can start a conversation. Now that you have a conversation, you can book a preliminary call. On that call, you can book the second one, and so on and so forth. Okay. But again, I want to ingrain this in your brain. Your offer is an upsell to your lead magnet. Okay, guys. And again, the whole point of what I'm describing here is that you want to give something up front. That's it. Something up front that makes more people say yes than they say no, okay? Again, just notice the difference. If you send an email to somebody that says, hi, Enrique, we specialize in SEO for agencies. We did this thing for this person. Do you want to hop on a call? It's not a wonder. Most people are going to say, fuck off. And look at the difference you see if you do the following. Instead of saying, hey man, this is what we do you want to, etc. Boom. If you said something like, hi Enrique, not sure if this might be helpful or not, but I made a lead list of tech companies that you can reach out to. Should I send them to you or someone else? Let me know, Enrique. Of course, if I get that email, I will reply, because I literally say, wow man, like thanks, like why not? Now that I replied to you, you might be like, hey, appreciate the response. Here you go. You send me the super valuable lead magnet. In this case, let's say a lead list. It could be, but it could be whatever. Again, it could be the free trial. It could be a Loom audit. It would be whatever. And then you say like, you send me the lead magnet, and then you say, by the way, we do, let's say SEO or sales agencies. Thought that now that you had that lead list that I just sent you, it might make sense to see if we can partner up together. Would that be helpful? Let me know, Enrique. So you see, like, it's way different. It's a different level. Of course, this is called outreach, but this is completely different to everything that I've seen out there. And I promise that if you start doing this type of things, again, you're just going to get a whole bunch of replies. And now that you have replies, you can send video assets, sales assets, blog posts, etc. And everything's going to be just easier for you, okay? So this is the entire process on offer and copywriting. I just wanted you to actually see the difference between just pitching to actually building connections and getting conversations going, okay? Now, this is the biggest, most important part of everything, because this is where we actually start distilling the entire process and how to do it and how you can apply this to your company. So sit down and really enjoy this one, because this is honestly life-changing in my opinion. Inside of the huge high-level topic of outbound campaigns, we like to divide this in the following. The first thing is the high-level strategy in the actual outbound channel, then how you combine the different channels, then how you leverage sales assets in your follow-ups, then how to capture cold leads and keeping them so that you can warm them up and nurture them, and then the suggested tech stack, okay? Now, a strategy in outbound channel, guys. This is the first thing that I want to discuss, because you want to choose one main channel that you optimize for. And of course, we choose cold email, but calling, LinkedIn, or even Twitter or Facebook work really well. And again, what matters is that you choose one. If you say cold email, go for cold email. If you say LinkedIn, go for email. If you say LinkedIn, go for LinkedIn. If you say Twitter, go for Twitter. Again, you just want to have one main channel that you optimize for. Again, we use cold email, but why is that? The reason why we decide to go for cold email is that it's targeted, cheap, scalable, easy to track even with software, and you have the capacity to personalize both leads specifically and also at scale, okay? What I mean by that is that if you are sending manual cold emails, what you could do is personalize the specific cold email if you are doing manually, or if you're doing software, you're going to see how we also personalize at scale, either with using softwares or maybe with literally personalizing based on location, something like that, okay? Now, here is the thing when it comes to outbound channels, and it is that having a bad strategy is better than not having a strategy at all, okay? So even if you have a bad copywriting angle, assuming that you're tracking your KPIs, it's a matter of time before you start changing what's not working, okay? Maybe is it the open rate? Then you can change your subject lines. Is it the reply rate? You change the copy of your angle. Is it the reply to call rate? It depends. In the third scenario, it depends. It could be the actual volume. It could be how good you are at actual appointment setting. Like now that you have a reply, how you can portray the interest. It could be on your follow-ups. It depends, right? Reply to call rate, but you can just troubleshoot from there. And last but not least, I want you guys to understand that you want to get something going and optimize from there. because with that you can take informed decisions, so everything is way easier. Because if you're not keeping track of your numbers, you're just going to be pretty much saying, hey, this doesn't work, but you don't know why. Okay, so tracking KPIs and metrics is hands down the most important thing to get results with your cold prospecting. And yeah, guys, more on this later for sure, but I just want you to really understand this part because it's super important to keep track of. Okay, now without this you don't truly have a strategy for optimization, you're just relying on your gut. Okay, so again, keep track of KPIs and metrics. We'll see more about this later. So this is the document that we're going to give you guys, but we'll explain more about this. We're going to explain more later. Now, strategy and outbound channel. This is super important, guys, because the action steps that I want you guys to take is, number one, choose a primary channel. Then decide the follow-up sequence, whether manual or automated. If no clue, follow up at least 4 times. And 3, track and optimize. Okay. Now, here's the multi-channel approach that we encourage you guys to use. And regardless of the channel that you choose, I want you to take this into account. You need to follow up. It's not like you should or you can or you could. It's like you need to follow up. Most people are going to reply, and most people are going to book calls when you follow up. And you should use a secondary channel to strategically follow up. And what I mean by that, guys, and this is why it's so important, is that your primary channel is going to be the channel you're going to use for optimization to get that initial touch point. But the secondary channel is going to be for follow-ups, okay? For example, as soon as a lead shows interest after a cold email, you can call them, okay? And you can easily track that with software. So that as soon as somebody shows interest or as soon as somebody opens an email, when someone books a call after a cold call, email them, okay? So you can, that's how you strategically follow up. That's how you strategically use secondary channels in order to get better results from your outbound campaigns. And here's the thing, guys, strategic follow-ups don't mean that you will add a secondary outbound channel to have a first touch point. What this means is that you'll have a system to add more angles to the appointment setting process, okay? And here's the thing. And guys, this is honestly, I believe, the most life-changing and most important part of the entire presentation. There's one outbound process that we use for clients that have 2 separate parts, okay? One outbound process with 2 separate parts that we like to use for clients, and this depends on the client's offer, of course, their total addressable market, etc. But the two separate parts of the outbound process is the prospecting system and the follow-up system. The prospecting system is managed with SDRs or setters, and the goal is simply to get people to show interest, aka a reply, and add to the CRM. And now that we have people on the CRM, the goal of the other team of people or sales guys is the follow-up system, and that's managed by maybe SDRs, setters, or account executives. And the goal is now to book calls and nurture. Okay, you can see that these are really similar, but if you confuse this part of the equation, everything is going to be a mess. Okay, one group of people are hunting for others to show interest and reply so that they can add to the CRM. Once people are added to the CRM, the follow-up group of sales guys, the higher level, let's say, sales guys, they focus on nurturing and booking the calls. That's how it goes, okay? Of course, if you are a solopreneur, this still applies to you. You gotta do the prospecting and the follow-up system, okay? Now, this is the prospecting process example, and I'm just using Instagram for example, but it could be literally anything. I will give you guys our actual example in a second, how we use it, but here's how it looks like. We might have an initial touch point on Instagram. We might have a second touch point on Instagram. We might have a third touch point on Instagram, and then we might have a reply. As soon as a lead replies, you initiate the follow-up process. So this is the prospecting process, getting people to show interest and to basically reply to your messages. That's the entire goal of the SDR and the entire goal of you if you're doing prospecting, okay? And this is just an example script, but that really doesn't matter. It could be like, hi, first name, love the new shoes you launched for winter. Curious man, made a couple of hot creatives you can use. I made this specifically for your brand name. Mind sending me your email so I can send them your way? Hey, just curious about this. By the way, if there's someone else I should send this to, let me know. Leave a thoughtful comment to their profile and asking them to check their DMs, whatever it might be, right? And this is just an example. Now that you add people to the CRM, remember, people reply. So you want to add them to the CRM. Well, you can see here, people reply. So first thing, you add them to the CRM. It might be Salesforce, it might be HubSpot, it might be a Google Sheet, it could be Airtable, whatever it might be. That would be number one. Now that you reply this, you want to send the asset plus invite maybe on a call, like pitch them something, like pitching them the actual, hey man, here's the asset. By the way, here's what we do. Would you be open to the call, etc.
Now, he might say yes or he might say no. If he say no, well, if he say no, you basically lost the deal. If he say yes, then you book a call. Or maybe he doesn't say anything. You might want to follow up again, but you want to send them a different video asset. You see, like a YouTube video. Then you can follow up again and invite them to another call. Then you can follow up again and maybe invite them to your Facebook group. Like you can see now how things start to get way easier because now you have leads and data specifically showing interest to what you have to offer. So you keep this process going until they book a call or they say fuck off, pretty much, okay? So this is typically the process. Now, I want to show our actual flow, okay? Our flow is honestly cold email, and it's not even 3 touch points. We have we use a software called Instantly, and we have a 4 to 6 sequence email campaign process that we lead through. This is also what we do for clients. So we might get a reply from the first email, from the second, from the third one, for the fourth one, or fifth one, or whatever it might be. The thing is that as soon as we get a reply, we add them to the CRM. Now that we add them to the CRM, what we do is we send them the lead magnet and invite them on a call. Sometimes they say yes, so we book them a call immediately. If sometimes they don't reply, so we now follow up again manually and send them a YouTube video. So we then follow up again and we say, hey, did you watch the video? If they don't reply, we might send them another YouTube video, etc. Or we might invite them to the Facebook group. You see, so the thing is that we start touching different angles. We start touching different things. And here's the thing, of course, like and I forgot to add this, but for example, as soon as we get a reply, we might connect with them on LinkedIn, and we might also follow up on LinkedIn on top of the cold emails. Why? Because of course now they might have that personal touch, and in our LinkedIn we have content, and it's I believe higher conversions, etc. Like this is the way we like to go around it. Now here is the next stage, and this is super important, guys. You want to leverage content marketing, and there's an unspoken premise from the previous processes that we shared. And it is the following, like you see YouTube videos here, you see Facebook groups in here, etc. Should you do content marketing? Should you upload YouTube videos? Should you create blogs? The answer is, of course, yes, okay? Now, when you start doing this content, the goal shouldn't be to use this content to get new leads, aka get inbound leads. The goal is to leverage the content that you have so that you can show your expertise and pass the expert test for your leads. Now, this will make your own campaigns more effective, get high responses, and make your leads warmer when they come to the sales calls, okay? Most importantly, of course, if for example, you're doing outbound DMs from Twitter, of course you want to be active on Twitter. If you're doing cold outbound DMs from Instagram, you want to be active on Instagram. So that you can start building that trust and that audience and that engagement from your leads, okay? Now, I want to go over some of our suggested platforms. And the reason why I suggest these platforms is that these are the easiest ones to actually demonstrate authority in a long form fashion that can be specific to your targeted list. And let me explain. For example, YouTube, our favorite for sure. The YouTube shows experience, authority, and because there's video, you can easily build rapport. And YouTube allows for longer videos. So you can do an entire 2-hour presentation and you will see an example that I give in a second, but exact process that your audience is going to definitely love. And from there, you can just warm them super hard. Like maybe before watching the video, they have zero interest in working with you. And after watching the video, they're going to be like, wow, man, I need to work with this guy, right? The second pillar or the second option is the podcast. And the podcast shows experience and authority and to some level rapport. But of course, not as much as YouTube because there's no video factor. Now, the beauty is that people on podcasts have higher attention spans. Sorry, not spams, but spans. Sorry. Attention spans. And what that means, guys, is that once you are having on someone on the podcast, because podcast is quote unquote so boring, they literally just take attention to the audio. They are not going to be distracted by, hey, that Mr. Beast video to the right of your screen, whatever it might be, right? And the last thing will be a blog or a Google Doc. And it's the same as the previous ones, but there's no human-to-human rapport building. That being said, it doesn't mean that it's the less effective. Like, I honestly believe that it could be super effective depending on who you target. But let me show you something. In case you're doing outreach from a social media platform, Instagram, LinkedIn, or Twitter, some people say like, oh, I don't need to be sending actual content because they can see my profile. Guys, listen, it's not enough to simply post. You need to actually send a piece of content that is specific to the lead and ideally mention why it's relevant to them. So for example, and this is the thing, guys, if you're on Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn or Facebook, you are going to have pieces of content that are going to be evergreen, right? Those evergreen pieces of content, you can send to your leads in such a way that they get warmed up on the outbound process. And what you gotta do is, again, send those pieces of content so that they can start binge watching your content. Now, I want to have a super huge pro tip, and I want you to use what we call a microwave asset when possible. Now, what is a microwave asset, guys? An asset or lead magnet that hints your unique mechanism or offer, plus why it's better than everything else in the marketplace. That's the most important thing. That goes over case studies in depth, aka your typical process, and that ideally has a video component, okay? These are the three elements that need to be on a microwave asset for it to work. And here's the thing, guys. This will help you both in your outbound campaign process so that people warm up and accept your calls and come warmer to the calls, or in your sales and acquisition process, aka between calls or after calls are booked, okay? Why? Because you're going to be able to show people what you do, how you help them, case stories, etc. Now, let me give you an example. This is why I was saying that the Google Doc is honestly really powerful. Let's say that you build a Google Doc called How to Close 33% of Sales Calls with Leads You Get from YouTube Ads for B2B Coaches. Of course, something super specific, super industry based and niche down, okay? Of course, if I'm a B2B coach and I run YouTube ads, or I'm planning on running YouTube ads for my company, and you send me this, I would be like, wow, man, like, I want to read it. Like, this sounds super interesting. So you send me a link to the Google Doc, and you say, hey, man, this is how our company's leading YouTube ad process looks. Of course, that's their unique mechanism. So of course I start going like, wow, man, that sounds super cool. Let's hear what it is. And then you also start talking about why YouTube ads work super well instead of Google or Facebook ads. So I start going like, wow, man, like, yeah, I was thinking about YouTube and Facebook, but now I think that YouTube is going to be a better option. And then you start talking about how your leading YouTube ad process started to help Logismico, Rapid Developers, and Purpose Projects and Viral Message Labs at an extra 25K in MRR in just 3 months while reducing ad spend. Then you go like, wow, man, I need to be doing this. Like, it's no longer a question. I need to work with this guy. By the way, these are actual clients of ours. So if any of you, our clients, is watching this, shout out, love you. We don't do YouTube ads, but you get the point. And then we also start talking about looms and videos, going over specific client campaigns, showing the angles, targeting creatives. And then let's say that the person that received this, the B2B coach, they are going to immediately go like, dude, like, I need to work with these fuckers, man. Like, this is not even a question of if or not. It's something that I need to be doing because these are the obvious right answer for me. And boom, that's what the microwave asset is. Okay, guys? So make sure you, even if you don't have any YouTube channel, or even if you don't have anything right now, create one long form sales asset like this one that is going to help you convert massively your calls, okay? So make sure you use that. The next stage on the outbound campaigns is the capturing leads portion from outbound campaigns, okay? And guys, I highly recommend that you start building a Facebook group. This is honestly the greatest asset that you'll ever have in your business. And well, that along with the email list of newsletter clients, newsletter subscribers or clients, whatever, but Facebook groups, guys, that's the way to go. Because here's the thing, what's great about Facebook groups is that conversions are way more powerful than email. Why? Because you have now the ability to post content so that the people actually see it. Facebook has the most amount of users on earth out of any other social media platform. And because here's the thing, guys, YouTube is promoting groups right now. So everything that you promote, you can literally notify everybody in the group about the new piece of content, about your offer, about your trainings, about everything. So it's just like it's literally just like an incubator for clients, okay? Now, on top of that, it doesn't end with, hey, you have a whole bunch of group members. You will also be able to send one-on-one messages to group members. And that's powerful, guys. That's really powerful. Why? Because now that you nurture everybody from your Facebook group and that you have access to details now that you have people in your Facebook group that can consume your content, warm them up and everything, you can now start sending one-on-one messages to group members. And these one-on-one messages is now where you start maybe going from, hey, I was sending you a cold email to now we're talking here on Facebook, right? So it's really, really powerful. Now, once they join your group, it's going to be a matter of time before they become clients. And the reason why is that every time you post, like I was saying, they'll see your content because Facebook is actively promoting Facebook groups and have explicitly said that this is going to be a priority for the future. You can answer questions. So, for example, somebody makes a post inside of your group and they say, let's say that your Facebook group is all about cold email, and somebody says like, hey, how do I reduce
how do I make my cold emails not landing in spam? And then you actually comment in the post and you explain how, and then you can maybe take that post and start going one-on-one on the DMs, and now you can book a call from there. You can see it's really, really powerful. And even better, guys, you can now bring the conversation to the same level, because before you were the one chasing, now you're the one helping. In the past, you were doing outbound campaigns, now you are solving questions and demonstrating authority on your group where people found a lot of value, so they get super warmed into doing business with you, okay? Right now, this is the name of our Facebook group. It still has, but it's funny because it still has the name of our previous company, Fund Scaling. I want you to see an actual example of a good Facebook group, like fundscaling.com. So it adds a little bit of branding on our side, like, hey, fundscaling.com. Somebody might just see that and they go like, what's that? So they might visit our website. And of course, our website has everything in there, but you see the point. A new set of frameworks to scale your marketing agency. So if you are a marketing agency owner and you see that title, guess what happens? You're going to be like, wow, I want to join there. So I want to join the group. I want to see what's happening. Even better, if you have like a free guide or a free asset inside that people are to give people a reason to join. But you get my point, guys. This is really, really powerful. I also wanted to share you guys some examples from previous clients that I had when I used to sell a Facebook group implementation, sales implementation offer back in the day. So, for example, Marcon Solko, he has a group called Agency Fulfillment Secrets. Guy Ernie Johnson, he has a Facebook group called DM Sales Machine Community, Organic Secrets to 10K per month in sales. You get my point. You want to have some sort of topic on your group. Now, you want to make sure the group has a problem-solving approach, meaning that you don't want to call your group SaaSquest's lead nurturing group, right? That would be stupid. You want to aim for something like Google Ads Mastery for beauty salons, or YouTube ads and lead generation systems for gym owners, something like that. You get my point, right? Bonus points if you can create a mini course or free asset for members so that they can consume, and a welcome post to skyrocket your community. So, for example, if you were to join our Facebook group, we have an entire start here or welcome post that gives people right away assets. We say, hey, this group was created with the goal of becoming the best marketing community on the planet, etc. What the group is all about. So next steps, I add a video so that people watch it. I tag them in the video, so it's super powerful. So they yes or yes watch the video. And you can also have guides, and this is super powerful. Why? Because your entire group is pretty much a funnel. Your entire group is pretty much a website, a BSL, okay? So now that you have guides in here, you can add, for example, a guide that is called Resource Tools and Scaling Opportunities, so people can get your assets. You can have another guide about a client and expert interviews. You get my point, guys. You can give a lot of value, and you can make your group some sort of Netflix that people can binge watch content on a specific topic. And every time, for example, if you have a YouTube channel, you can post content in here so that you get the traffic on YouTube to the YouTube channel, etc. You can see like there is a winning factor in a virtuous cycle from building this sort of assets. And the longer you stay with your group, the more valuable it gets, okay? Now, here is a suggested tech stack. Assuming that you're using cold email, like we recommend if you're in the B2B space, you only need 2 apps, Airtable for CRM tracking for free, and Instantly. Of course, if you're a little bit higher, you can, if you have a bigger company or you have more budget or whatever it might be, you can be using like Salesforce, maybe you can be using HubSpot, etc. But honestly, Airtable or Google Sheets is going to be more than enough, and Instantly. Now, we made a CRM template that you can start using today on Airtable. You can get it here. Of course, you need the presentation, but you can see in just a moment. Yeah, it's a CRM and sales pipeline that you can start using to follow up with leads, etc. So yeah, make sure that you take it if you want to. But yeah, that's honestly all the suggested stack that we recommend. You don't really need that much. And even guys, if you were to do manual cold email, you can just use Gmail like for free, okay? So no problems about it. In regards to other platforms, you use the other platform with cold calls, and you literally have your phones, you have everything you need. So it's really that easy. Last part of the equation is mindset and metrics, and this is what either makes or breaks your outbound campaigns. So here's the thing, guys. You need to have a specific mindset that is going to guarantee success when you're doing outbound, okay? Because here's the thing, guys. You'll face a lot of rejection, and that's normal. You need to be able to take a step back and see the numbers in the course of months to take informed decisions. Hence the importance of metrics. Because here's the thing. Let's say that you're doing cold calling, okay? You do 10, it might be the case that you
do 100 reach outs today, testing one script, and you get exactly 0 replies, okay? But the next day you might send 50 reach outs using the same script, aka half the amount of volume that you did yesterday, but now you got 20 replies, right? It's just a matter of sometimes luck, but honestly, it's just a numbers game, okay? You need to be able to see the pattern and don't allow feelings or emotions to get in the way of your outbound system. Because you might have, and this is one, I promise you guys, it's going to suck. This is super hard. But again, this is what you need to be doing in order to get meetings booked and get customers. But yeah, guys, you need volume. You need volume. And if you don't track your numbers, it's impossible to detach from the outcomes, because if you face so much rejection, you are just going to feel like, hey, this doesn't work. But you need to be seeing out. You need to be able to see outside from your pattern, from your own body, if that makes sense. I highly suggest that you watch 2 specific videos that I will mention. The first one is a video from Alex Hormozi called Volume Negates Luck. You can click the link here and go and watch it. It literally goes over in huge detail, by the way, on, first of all, how enough volume makes sure that even if you suck, you can get something in return from your actual efforts, and or that you actually become skilled at what you do. Because once you become skilled at what you do, you can have better results with less volume. But the only way to get better is through the volume. So you need to be doing that volume, okay? So very much, I want you guys to watch the video. I don't want to make this a super huge video, and this is going to, watching this one is going to explain way better than I could. And the second video that I want you to take a look at is from Charlie Morgan, and it's a video called Trial by Fire, okay? You can also see it here. And guys, the biggest reason why is honestly the following. Well, Charlie Morgan is an incredible content creator. I really respect this guy. You should follow this guy. And on that video, that's a 2-hour long video where he basically goes the process of how you need to be able to endure pain and sustain a disciplined approach to your entire, not only lead generation and client acquisition process, but how the hardest things are the ones that are most important. And most importantly, more even than that, why those are the exact things that you need to do. Like if you're just being like, hey, this is super easy to do, chances are that you're not doing the right things, okay? And that's why I wanted you guys to watch that video. I highly recommend that you watch it, okay? I think that these 2 are going to be the only mindset related things that you will need to watch in order to really understand outbound mindset. But yeah, just wanted to drop that out there. That being said, guys, I also want to start talking about how to approach the outreach mastery process. And here's the thing, guys. You want to do volume because volume is king. And because volume is king, you need to be able to do volume consistently. And once you start doing volume consistently, now you start doing volume because volume is king. You do it in a consistent fashion. And because you're doing it in a consistent fashion, you become better. So now you do volume because volume is king. You do it consistently. You become better. And you track your performance. And now because you track your performance, you get numbers. And because you get numbers, you can now see at the high level picture. And because you have numbers, you have data. So you can actually make informed decisions. And last but not least, guys, because you can make informed decisions, you can decide what to improve. Not change, but improve. So this is why this entire process is really powerful, guys. This is the roadmap to becoming a really good, not only SDR, but actually a really good sales guy that does outreach. And this works for any business. You need to be able to track this roadmap in order to get results and to actually have more money than you know what to do with. And this is why it's important to have one channel, like cold email or whatever it might be, like one channel with one script that you optimize and that you optimize to become a master at, okay? Because again, if you are starting to do a whole bunch of different things, you're going to start tracking volume on 2 things differently, in 2 different things in a consistent fashion. You need to track performance of 2 different things. You need to get different numbers. You tend to take more decisions. So it's just a mess, right? Your most valuable tool will be your KPI tracker, mostly because you'll be able to detach from your day-to-day stress and feelings and be able to take informed decisions, seeing the greater scheme of things. So guys, I don't know, just want to really emphasize this. This is the roadmap. This is what you need to be doing. And this is how you will start landing clients with ease, okay? You also, there's this outreach and sales KPIs tracker that you guys can have with the link in the description. By the way, guys, all of these trackers and assets and all of this, once you join our newsletter, you will be able to get all of these documents, of course, the presentation, so you can start taking action on the KPI tracker. But here's the thing, with the KPI tracker, you can keep track of everything, of course. Leads scraped, email sent, CRM ads, manual follow-ups, discovery calls booked, sales calls booked, sales calls taken, no-shows, closes, cash collected, revenue, month goals, everything. Okay, guys, so make sure you grab it. And yeah, now go and apply this to your offer and share the results. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, feel free to either book a call with us. We'll be happy to discuss if there's any way we can help you with. And if not, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share this with somebody. This was just my best effort to put in a 1 hour long, approximately, sales guide on how to get clients. So yeah, hope that you find it valuable, and see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.